Recently, with such a mighty backlog, I decided to undertake the Weekend Warrior project, dedicating usually a day on the weekend to work on these minor projects for one reason or another. This is the first collection video of these games. There will be no survivors. Keijo, the role-playing game, was my attempt to satisfy the weeaboo perverts on Discord with a game based on a 2013 manga and 2016 anime of the same name. As the players take the role of hip-whip girls, Keijo stars themselves. Keijo itself is a betting sport of... a water sport where girls stand on small floating platforms and fight against one another, but they may only use their chests and butts to knock opponents into the water. That's a thing. Oh god. It's a sports RPG at its core, with the players taking the role of these stars trying to compete and win the race. The game uses a D66 system, forcing players to combine their D6s together and beat their opponent. The game uses 2 HP methods of both poise and endurance, representing balance and overall physical stamina. If either of these reach 0, boom, 0. It's game over for them. It's simple, but honestly, you're not playing it for the deep lore, are you now? Baka hentai. Henshin Hero is my attempt at making a Sentai television series into a tabletop role-playing game, while definitely not making a bootleg of another game with a suspiciously similar name. The game primarily uses a D6 as well, but it's a basic roll-under system instead. The difficulty of the game comes primarily from trying their best to succeed at what's required of them. As they are on a television show, not only are they trying to best to fulfill their obligations of the ratings, they're also trying to make sure the producer is happy, performing goals and actions that affect their star power and the episode's flow. The producer isn't malicious, but more practical. As the show succeeds or fails, they'll start piling up more requirements to either unreasonable or constraining lengths, trying to make the show actually profitable. It's a game about keeping the budget high, the faith and paychecks higher, because you're working on a budget with no survivors. Written for a game jam, Stigmata Faith and Fury is a game about being in a Christo-Cyberpunk dystopia where the players take the role of crusaders invading the Tower of Babel to assassinate Satan by cutting through his demonic hordes. It's another D6 game, you're noticing a trend at all, but it uses a roll, write, and keep method to allow players to damage individual demonic parts and bring holy judgment upon the sinners who tread their path. As keepers of the faith, each of the randomly generated crusaders also has a stigmata, a cybernetic enhancement that grants them additional powers and resources in their deadly climb. Which, speaking about deadly, the Crusaders are fragile at their core, with a set of bad hits potentially sending a Crusader sprawling unless they can recover quickly. However, being replaced is easy as it only requires any survivors to reach the elevator at the end of the floor. I designed it to be merciless and unforgiving as possible, trying to mimic some early roguelikes as the Crusaders find themselves overwhelmed, outgunned, and outmanned, with only their gun, high explosives, and the faith to push through the demonic mess. That's the end of the collection of the Weekend Warriors. Keijo will be linked below, Henshin is $2.50 on itch.io, and Stigmata will be free until the end of the month, which at that point will also go up to $2.50 USD as well. Why? Because I want money. Though if you want a copy, you could just join my server down below. My name is Nomad Anon, and this was the Weekend Warriors Showcase. If you like what I do here, feel free to subscribe and leave a comment. I do this for you. Thanks. Goodbye.